Hello, welcome back. We will discuss exception handler in this video. We have saw some error messages before, which are some logic or syntax error. Those error messages are easy to address because we can see the error messages when we try to run the program. Exception, however, are something only appear in a very special cases, and you may not see the exceptions when you are programming, run, or even test your program. The issue caused by exception are also called bugs or software bugs. You may have heard of it. As you can see on this slide, different exceptions may appear when you develop your application. Now let's jump into the code and see what does exception means and how can we address them. Here I'm going to create another file. Let's call it exception. Now I'm going to define a very simple function called division, and there will be two arguments. Number one will be the numerator and number two will be the denominator, and let's say the result is equal to number one divided by number two, and here I'm going to simply print the result out. This function has been completed. Now let's call it. Here I'm going to say main function and call it. Here I'm going to call it the division function. One, number two, number one, and number two. Here we're going to accept two numbers from the input. We will say number one will equal to input and say give some prompt or tips to the user so that they know what they are trying to type. Here we're going to say please enter the first number. And we will say send to the second number. Let's copy it. Let's say second number. Here we're going to say second. As I mentioned earlier, actually the return of the input will be a string, so we have to convert the result to numbers. So let's do it this way. Number one is equal to int is equal to number. This is a convert. We are doing something to number two equal to number two. Here we assume all the number will be integers for just simply demonstrate. And now we can run the application. Say 2 divided by 3. Here we got the correct result. As we know, none of number can be divided by 0, so that will be an exception. I mean, this function is run properly as long as number 2 will not be 0, but it could be happen. We all know that none of a number can be divided by 0. And let's try this interesting situation. Let's say 2 divided by 0. See? Our application is showing up an error and completely crashed. So how can we address this situation? I mean, even it's not always the case. In Python, we have a mechanism to address this issue. We use try. Now let's move this to try block. Say except. As we know, this kind of error is zero division error. In this slide, we've showed different kind of error. You can also look at it over here from PyCharm. Here we choose in this one, and we can print some friendly messages and let the program run properly. So here we said division by 0. Sorry, here's the I. Now let's try to rerun this application and try to say 2 divided by 0. Now the application is run properly and gives some friendly message over here. There are other cases, even this exception cannot handle it and the application still crash. And there may some resource have been occupied and not be released. So we need another sentence called finally to address the situation. Finally, say print. We can address the crash issue here. It's in this way. Now as we can see here we assume those are always be number, and we already convert the return of the input to numbers. Now let's just use string as a parameters to the division and pass them into the function and see what happens. Say strings, let's just input. See, even this has been crashed over here, but we still have a chance to run other application in finally. Here is the chance we can address the exception issues. So we can release the occupied resource, etc. Okay, that's all about the exceptions, and see you next video. Bye bye.